Okay, are we ready? Okay, we're ready. Welcome, everybody. This is our first annual innovation competition. My name is Liz McCormick. I'm the Director of Innovation here at Grand Rapids Community College, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you here tonight. I am going to serve as the MC, but this is not my night. This is your night. This is a night for all of our competitors. I do want to send some special thanks to a number of people because, as you can imagine, pulling off an event like this is no easy task. It takes a lot of collaboration, and there's some special people we need to thank. First is our competitors, right? The faculty, students, and staff here at GRCC. 20 teams who originally entered this competition last October, down to our 7 teams that have made it through this far and are here with us tonight. A lot of work over the last 7 months, so special thanks to you for hanging in with us. The advisory team who designed this event, who planned it and coordinated it, and have sort of tried to shepherd this process. This is the first time we've done anything like this here at GRCC, and so special thanks to that advisory team. The next group we really need to thank are our judges. This is a subset of our Sustainability Council here at Grand Rapids Community College. And again, they've been very active judging our first round of competition where people submitted ideas and are also doing the final judging tonight for our final awards. So thank you, judges. And then our special champions. As you know, one of the key principles of innovation is that you have to have a champion. We have 2 special champions that really deserve special recognition tonight. The first one is Liz Timmer. She was the champion of this initiative. She was the inspiration for why we had this competition to begin with. Liz went through one of our innovation trainings here at GRCC and was inspired to do something different, wanted to do something with collaboration and teams and fun yet practical way to put a face on innovation here. So thank you to Liz Timmer. Let's give her a round of applause. And our other champion here tonight is Mr. Armin Omedian. Armin is alumnus of GRCC. He's been a tireless supporter of our work here. He really is a champion and a believer of innovation, and he was happy to put his money as a philanthropist behind this event, and so really without him, this event would not be possible. So Armin, if you could stand up and be recognized as well. So how we kind of got to this place, I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes to set some context of how maybe people who will be watching this event and watching you here tonight will understand how you got involved. We did want to create something fun yet practical, a way to put a face on this value of innovation here at GRCC. And I've been working on this initiative for about the past 4 years at the college, trying to understand what are the skill sets that represent innovation, teaching innovation to our students, faculty, and staff. And we finally got to a place where we said, well, we know about the process of innovation, but let's just do it. Let's learn by doing. And so that's what this competition really represents. But there are kind of 4 key principles that in any initiative to be innovative, you want to make sure you include. And the first one really is, again, finding a champion. So each one of your teams has a champion on it who've worked tirelessly over the last 7 months, so they need to be recognized. The second principle is to have a team. Innovation is a team sport. It's not an individual endeavor. So collaboration, and on those teams, diversity is key. And that's why when we set up this competition, and it is our first team-based award here at GRCC, it was really important for us to have collaboration amongst students, faculty, and staff, all working on a common goal. The third kind of key principle for innovation is to focus on an important problem. What problem are you trying to solve? And so obviously sustainability is one of our core values here at GRCC, and reducing our energy costs is a big concern, a big problem. So that was the focus of this year's challenge. And then last is really following a process. And you guys have done that work, right? So you started with your imagination, you started with an idea, you went through the discovery process, you came up with some research, you created maybe a prototype, you tested that prototype, and you're here to kind of present those findings today, right? So those are really the 4 key principles. Have a champion, work in a team, focus on an important problem, and follow the process. And all of those things sort of happened in the organization of this competition. So again, we started last October, so about 7 months ago, with 20 ideas. Those ideas were all awarded, the top 10 were selected, and they each got $100 and a chance to move into round 2 competition. So again, an idea is not an innovation. It is simply an idea. You have to be able to move that idea forward, and it has to add some new value to the institution. So that's what you're here to do tonight, is to take that spark of a great idea and then make it come alive as an innovation here on our campus. And so I'm going to turn the mic over now to Moss Ingram, who's our Director of Sustainability here at GRCC. And Moss is going to explain the criteria, how these ideas were scored, and he's going to introduce our panel of judges.
Thanks, Liz. Good evening. It is such a pleasure to be here tonight. As we approach sustainability at the college, we use the triple bottom line, where we focus on solving problems by looking at the economics, the environment, and social equity. And it's important to approach that from a well-balanced method. And as we define how we approach innovation here at the college, innovation is really about a new process, product, or service that provides new value. And because it provides new value, it's adopted. And so our effort tonight in this competition is to really adopt the best ideas that come out of this competition in order to reduce our energy costs. The criteria by which we judged, or the judges judged the submissions, were really six pieces of criteria. And so last fall, we focused first on originality. We wanted to find evidence of original thought, something unique. The next was feasibility. If it's not feasible, we're not going to move forward with it. It has to be doable. We have to be able to implement this. And then the third one is alignment. Does the criteria align with the institution? Does this meet our values as a college? And then just a few weeks ago, we embarked on part 1 of round 2, and we had the additional 3 criteria, which was around collaboration. We wanted to see evidence that there was a team that was involved, that there were more than one person doing the work. The presentation, they judged on presentation. How well was the information presented? How thoughtful was it presented? Was it complete? And then the last part was around impact. And we wanted to see some kind of evidence that if we were to implement this, that it would have a positive impact on the goal of reducing our energy costs, that we could redirect those dollars towards student success. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our judges. Tom Smith, Executive Director of Facilities. Nicholas Wykar, President of Student Congress. Brian Schultz, Renewable Energy Program Manager. Lee Kleinert, Associate Professor of Biological Sciences. And Dorothy Sidoni, Energy Manager. Thank you.
Okay, so let me tell you how the flow of the night is going to work here. Each of our teams already pre-recorded a 5-minute video clip. And so what you're going to do, we're going to roll the first clip. After that clip is done, the team is going to come down. I'm going to ask the team champion to introduce their team. The judges have 5 minutes to do Q&A with that team. Okay, and then after the 5 minutes, we have a timekeeper who's part of our team. He's going to call that. The next team comes up. We'll get through all of the teams in the Q&A section. Then our judges will be leaving to another room to deliberate on our final awards. They'll be gone for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll have the presentation of our prizes. Okay? So if we're ready in media, we'll roll the first clip.
Hello, and welcome to a short introduction on Team Ride Together. Our Arm and Award Innovation Team focused on reducing reimbursable mileage costs here at GRCC. We chose this project because it can immediately save money, while also reducing energy use, and the best part is that the money we save can be used immediately for students. Another positive aspect to our project is that it allows faculty and staff to take ownership of GRCC's environmental impact and energy cost savings. The bottom line is, by sharing rides, we save the college money, reduce energy use, and ultimately benefit students with the savings. Here's an example. Let's say there's a conference this afternoon in Holland. Sarah from Workforce Training is going, Scott, an HVAC instructor, is also going, Vicki from Communications is attending, and Sue from Outer Space is also going along. All drive to and from Holland to attend. This is a 50-mile round-trip journey. Each person receives $25 in reimbursable mileage money from the college. Let's see what they have to say. Sarah, why did you drive alone to the conference today?
I didn't know anyone else was going.
All right, Scott, why did you drive alone today?
Bad timing. I had to work until the last minute, and I didn't want anybody to wait for me.
Vicki, why did you drive alone to the conference today?
I didn't want to ride with her because she plays that dorky music.
And Sue, why did you drive alone to the conference today?
I like getting the money from the mileage.
How big is this problem? That's a good question. When our team looked into the data, we ran into a roadblock. The data for reimbursable mileage here at GRCC is clumped together in the 2512 travel line. That includes airfare, hotels, and other travel expenses, so we had no way of knowing what the real cost is to the college. How easily could this cost be impacted? Let's ask Frank Connor.
Actually, saving money in natural resources doesn't have to be that difficult, and sometimes all it takes is a reminder. 3 to 4 times a year, the college holds a retreat, a kind of professional development off campus, about 100 miles away. About a dozen people attend these retreats. One of the things we've done is to simply ask them in the opening email, the one that gives them all the details, if they would contact the others on the list and share rides. Just this last February, we had 5 people who chose to share rides in 2 different cars, saving the college and resources over $300.
That's a lot of money, especially if it goes right to students. To influence behavior, our team looked at incentives versus regulation. We started with an incentive program. With the help of Darcy Swope from IT, we developed a prototype e-tool using the GRCC Post-it board available through GroupWise. We announced it in GRCC Today that we would offer cash rewards for anyone who shared a ride. The cash would come from the money we received from the Round 1 innovation. Unfortunately, this approach was not successful. The incentive approach could still work if we improved our e-tool, increased our marketing and buy-in, or the incentive itself. Our team believes that regulation is the better solution to this problem, and the project could be a success. Being stewards of GRCC's money should not be an option. By simply adding a checkbox to the leave form, asking the question, "Have you looked for a rideshare opportunity?" and requiring a yes or no response, would begin to create an awareness and some level of monitoring.
Give that team a hand. So the champion for our Share a Ride program is one of our faculty here at the college, Sarah Yob. Sarah, if you'll come down with your team members who are here with you today.
Here. Great.
Yeah. And judges who have a question will ask the question in a mic.
And let me introduce Scott Dittenberg first.
Hello.
Scott is a student here at GRCC, and our other team members were Vicki Hudson, Ellie Bainbridge, Sue Goldman, and Julie Parks some of the time. And then we had support, substantial support from other people in the college like Frank Connor and Darcy Swope in helping us to formulate our project. Judges?
I like the idea, and I think it's very noteworthy that we can save, substantial dollars there. How do you plan on tracking it and keeping up with it? And I noticed you talked through email, or actually the post-it board. And I don't think that's well read by a lot of people, because I know people may not look at that every day. You know, myself, I may look at it once a month or every other month.
Great, and that was actually when we were formulating that pilot run. Those were the discussions that we had. What if we had an e-tool to address this? What platform would that be on? And there is a tool similar to that on Blackboard that's there now. But I work in training solutions, and there's probably 2 of us out of the dozen people in training solutions that are on Blackboard ever. So Blackboard wasn't a good solution for us. We did, the faculty and staff that worked around us and those folks that were involved with us they all use GroupWise regularly. So, and Darcy suggested that might, instead of putting something on the website to start with, something right on the main web page to start with, she suggested that working with that existing tool might be something that would at least let us gauge response. And it gauged response, which was we didn't have any response.
I noticed you also had the carbon dioxide or carbon on the bottom of it, and basically looking at the carbon footprint. Are you going to take that into consideration with the mileage also and the dollars?
Would you like us to, Tom? Would it be beneficial to the college to have something to monitor how much the college is saving with CO2? Because if we can monitor saving miles, we can monitor saving CO2.
Well, that's
we
part
can
of
correlate it.
Part of the Sustainability Council.
Exactly.
The carbon footprint. So.
Exactly. That wasn't a direct request from this. That wasn't in the criteria for the award. So I looked at the criteria for the award, and we have it on. We have it on there. We know it would be easy to correlate, but it actually doesn't play into this innovation award criteria.
I have a question.
Yes, Brian.
I still don't quite understand how we keep track of the fact that 4 people got into one vehicle when we turned in the mileage request. Somebody has to know that 4 people went in that vehicle instead of 4 people going in 4 separate vehicles.
Our understanding is that on the department level, you'd know, pulling the individuals, my mileage reimbursement requests or leave requests. But that's the only level that it isn't wrapped up into other data.
So if I went somewhere and I'm the one turning in the request, I'm going to indicate that 4 people rode in that car with, or 3 other people rode in that car with me?
Oh, that's what you're asking as far as our...
I'm asking how are we going to know that happened, and then that money gets transferred somehow into student success?
I can try to answer that from where I used to work. We track this, and on their expense reports, and I don't know how that works at GRCC, but you did have to indicate who rode with you, just as you had to indicate who you bought a meal for. So that's how we tracked it at my previous employer. You're welcome.
Does that answer your question, Brian?
Sort of. We would have to then change our forms because we don't have that capability currently.
Precisely, and our recommendation is, and I see Steve Abed in the back there. I remember one slide that he had he was talking about environmental economics, and he said with influencing the market, there's 2 options. There's incentives and there's regulations. And our experience with the incentive was that the incentive wasn't very powerful. And there may be other incentives that would be, but then our recommendation became, well, why not regulate it? Why not regulate it? The regulating it would be, we change the form. We change the mileage form, and we require that you give us that information. Thank you.
Excellent job. First team to go. Okay, so is our media booth ready to roll our second clip?
What burns up over 17 million barrels of oil in a year besides 100,000 cars? Bottled water. Over 27 billion plastic water bottles are wasted each year in the U.S. alone, contributing to almost 28 million tons of plastic waste each year. But where does this all go? Almost all of this waste ends up in our land and waterways. Take the trash vortex, for example, a floating soup of plastic waste taking up a space over twice the size of Texas in the Pacific Ocean. Nationwide campaigns like Take Back the Tap have swept the nation, prompting cities like San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago, Boston, St. Louis, Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids to cut or eliminate city spending on bottled water in hopes of significantly reducing plastic waste. GRCC even has its own Bottled Water Resolution Act backed by the Sustainability Council and Student Congress in support of eliminating bottled water on campus. My name is Josh Smith, and I believe Rethink Water has GRCC's next step towards a more sustainable future. Rethink Water is designing and developing an innovative point-of-use water cooler to encourage the use of reusable bottles on campus as an alternative to bottled water. The user in the hallway will be able to refill their reusable bottle at the machines and also keep track of how many bottles they've helped save by using the machines on campus. While filling up their own bottle at the Rethink machines, the user will also be updated on pertinent information from Rethink Water, the college, and the community through a 15-inch monitor implemented above the dispenser on the machines. By scanning their Rethink bottle or card before filling up, the screen on the machines will be able to display each user's individual impact by tracking how much water they've dispensed instead of buying in wasteful bottles. The Rethink Rewards program will also rank individual users as well as locations based on their impact to bring some competitiveness into going green and reward top savers. Saving is what these machines are designed for. Typical vending machines run continuously, spitting out hundreds of plastic bottles every month. They directly contribute to this buildup of plastic waste we're seeing and require a significant amount of maintenance to stay active. The transportation and distribution coming into these machines, the electricity used to run them, and the disposal costs associated with them are all things we can effectively cut out of the public water equation. The Rethink Water machines produce essentially zero waste, require hardly any maintenance, and use a fraction of the electricity that vending machines use to stay running.
I'm Hardeep.
And I'm Zach.
And together we want to not only help save the environment, but also give back to our community.
We want to be able to offer student scholarships at the college and also allow them to use their rewards points to donate to causes and charities.
This is just the beginning of our journey with Rethink Water and Rethink for Good. Now let's get to work.
Okay, so our student champion for Team 2 is Josh Smith. Josh, if you'll come on down, bring your team with you and introduce your team to us. We're going to have the team stand over here. So I understand we had a little problem with camera positioning with our first team, so we're going to ask you to stand over here. And judges, again, we have 5 minutes for Q&A.
All right, hi everybody. I'm Josh. This is Hardeep Singh, Zach Fortney, and Randy Hook. So go ahead and fire away.
I'll ask one. Is it on? How much electricity does the machine use per hour? Does it run 24/7? Does it have any kind of power-saving features to it so that when the college was off, the machine could go in power-saving mode?
Yeah, we're still in the process of actually manufacturing the machines, but we have talked about a standby mode for late night or, when on vacation times and things like that, so the machine is hardly running on any power at all. And as far as when it is up and running in the hallways, it runs on a really small fraction of electricity, so it's hardly anything at all. I couldn't give you a solid number, though, yet.
I'm curious why we're focusing just on bottled water and not on bottled pop or anything else that's in plastic bottles.
Go ahead. Probably because we're not flavoring We're not doing flavoring, it's just water. So our main like competition right now would be plastic water bottles. People purchasing them, and yeah.
Also, it would contribute to saving plastic pop bottles that end up getting wasted, but we've noticed that a lot more plastic pop bottles and things like that do end up getting recycled more often than water bottles because of the deposit available for those. So it's almost pointless to drink a bottled water, because you can get it for free anywhere else.
I like the idea. It's very creative, and the marketing aspect is really good to that also. My question, though, is for the past year, firms have been producing similar types of machines out there with counters in it also. Are you looking at the aspect of where you can get points for it to earn? Is that the selling point on that?
Yeah, mainly. The idea of having the screen implemented on the machine and creating more interactivity between the users and the screen and rewarding people for saving waste and creating more of a environmental conscious, So we're rewarding, doing good.
So you're going to sell the advertisement for that? Huh?
Yeah, kind of.
It didn't come through in your presentation, but how would the savings be monitored and then directed towards student success programs after the program was implemented?
I'm sorry, how would the savings be monitored? That would be through scanning your bottle before filling up. So that way, when you scan your bottle, it knows who you are. It's able to keep track of how much water you've dispensed, and potentially, 16 ounces that you dispense would be considered one potential bottle that you've saved from being wasted.
By using those savings and the money that we're actually getting from that and offering the scholarships back to the school for students, kind of directed more towards sustainability, so they'd have to write an essay, something kind of directed with sustainability, and we want to offer that back to students. And then, like we were saying, using the points that they get, they can use it to, let's say they want to help a charity out or a cause. We'll have like 5 or 10 charities on the website. Hey, I want to use my points, and they can use their points, and we'll donate the money for that to them for the charity.
If I could maybe better direct my question, the savings in regard to the savings of energy and the costs that would be spared for the college.
Oh, like vending machines more
Correct.
or less? Oh, okay.
Well, we've looked at typical vending machines. They use 2,500 to 4,400 kilowatts per hour per year. Annual cost is usually around 250 to 400, I believe. And with these at a fraction of the energy costs, we'll kind of have a tracker on it on how much energy it's using, and then we can compare it to actual uses off a vending machine. But overall, eliminating plastic bottle at school, it's kind of taking care of the whole elimination of recycling costs, trash. Most people throw those away. So, the net benefit's going to be way higher than just the vending machines or the plastic bottles.
Is the water in this machine cooled?
Cool, crisp, and clean.
Okay.
We're at time. Thanks, guys. Nice job. Okay, we're ready for entry number 3.
How can one idea help the environment, save money and time, provide a health benefit, and strengthen ties within GRCC and the broader Grand Rapids community? Through the implementation of a bike share program. Individuals that do not own a bicycle or don't want to worry about transporting their own bike to campus would have access to a bicycle for a minimal fee. This program would allow students, faculty, and staff to use these bikes to get around to various campus buildings. I'm Charlotte Pease.
I'm Amy Bennett.
And I'm Craig Rinsema.
And we're here to share with you our ideas for implementing a bike share program at Grand Rapids Community College.
One of the benefits of a bike share program would be environmental benefits. Reduction in air and noise pollution would be one of the benefits. Gas consumption doubles when speeds drop from 30 miles an hour to 10 miles an hour. Stop and go traffic uses more gas than traveling at a constant speed. For every mile traveled by bike instead of car, 2.6 grams of carbon monoxide and 1.6 grams of nitrogen oxide are presented from polluting the atmosphere. It's estimated that this program will offset 19 metric tons of CO2 each year.
The financial benefits for a bike share program are also numerous. There's the potential to reduce the shuttle between the main campus, the DeVos campus, and the MTech Tassel, as well as providing the opportunity for people to park at the MTech Tassel and take a bike to the main campus without incurring any costs. Cost savings to students have the potential based on a semester average of 2 days a week. It would cost the student $75. For other modes of transportation, it would be between $90 and $120 per semester. A suggested bike share program would be $20 a semester. So at a minimum, for only coming to campus 2 days a week, you'd be saving $55 potentially.
There are also many health benefits with a bike share program. Michigan has consistently had higher obesity rates than the average U.S. state. There are many health benefits with a bike share program. Michigan has consistently had higher obesity rates than the average U.S. state. In 2009, the state of Michigan was tied for the 10th highest obesity level among all participating states and territories. Nearly half of Michigan adults reported inadequate physical activity in 2009. The health benefits of biking are numerous, including improved cardiovascular health and weight loss. When performed on a regular basis, cycling will improve heart health, reduce stress, and improve mood, build strength, stamina, and muscle tone. Cycling burns about 300 calories per hour. A trip twice a week to and from the main campus to the MTech would burn about 11 pounds in 1 year.
Convenience is another benefit. Did you know that 50% of all trips are 3 miles or less, which is a perfect distance for a bike ride? The campus-to-campus commute falls within this range. For urban trips, cycling beats a car in peak hours and is quicker than a bus for trips up to 8 miles.
Here are the routes associated with the bike share program. 3 routes, one from the main campus to the MTech to the DeVos campus, and the DeVos campus to the main campus. The length times would be around 3 to 5 minutes to 12 to 15 minutes.
Riding a bike allows you to be more engaged in the environment around you. Grand Rapids has a long history of cycling, starting from 1885 up through the Bike GR program and some images of the Grand Rapids Cycling Classic. These are from 2010, which will also be held here in August in 2011. The possibilities for implementation of a bike share program and the connections to the community are numerous. One such opportunity is with the Motion Initiative.
This is an organization working to facilitate adventure, freedom, and hope through cycling to the inner city youth of Grand Rapids. A partnership with the Motion Initiative's program would help support their goals as an organization and help GRCC with the bike share program.
Grand Rapids was honored in 2009 for its bike-friendly potential by the League of American Bicyclists. Within GRCC, there is the potential for cross-discipline collaborations, such as within the wellness programs, the construction for actual site locations, potentially with student life. There are numerous collaborations that can happen through the implementation of the bike share program. So how can one idea help the environment, save money and time, provide a health benefit, and strengthen ties within GRCC and the broader Grand Rapids community? We believe that we've provided the answer to this question. Thank you very much.
Okay, so team number 3 has a faculty champion, Charlotte Pease. If you'll come on down and introduce your team.
Good evening. So I'm Charlotte Peegs, and this is Craig Rinsma. And unfortunately, Amy Bennett, who's been a very active participant in our team, could not make it this evening. I'd also like to thank Dave Dye, as well as Karen Dunham and Thomas Fish, who were support members of the team as well.
I just had a question. Where would you obtain the money or the bikes for starting up the program, and then who do you see maintaining the bikes?
I think there's lots of grant potentials out there right now for bike programs. If you look at the number of programs that have been implemented, not only just in Michigan but across the country, there are numerous ones. There are lots of different models by which they secure the funding for it. Sometimes it's a fee that is associated with the rental itself. So what we're suggesting is that there's a $20 fee to join, and there's a couple of reasons. One is it helps fund it minimally. It also helps people to feel like they have ownership so that there's less theft, and helps to keep the bikes on campus. There are colleges and universities that have sustainability fees that are part of student fees for every student on campus. And so what they've done is take, of the sustainability fees, for example, they'll take a percentage of that and use that then for the bike share program. So that's one model, but there are lots of different models. In terms of bikes, I think there are also lots of potentials. One, in terms of exploring that, was using the bikes that are from Mackinac Island. And so each year they get new bikes for their on-island cycling needs. And so they then would need to get rid of the ones that they've used from the previous years. And so there's very minimal fees associated with purchasing those bikes. The other potential, and I'm going to let Craig talk a little bit about the Motion Initiative.
The Motion Initiative, that Inner City is a program where they help younger kids in the inner city have like a purpose-driven life where they're trying to, I don't know, find a purpose to life, and having a program there to help them see that working hard is beneficial. And so that's the bike share program.
So they could potentially do some of the maintenance on the bikes. So not only could they be purchased there, although the bikes wouldn't have a common aesthetic to them, so they may not be the same as, say, the Mackinac Island bikes, where you could make them look all the same conceivably, but they might be able to help us in maintaining the bikes.
I work at the Tassel MTech, and I occasionally come up to main campus. And when I come up to main campus, it's usually an exercise in dodging students who are walking across the street, not walking on sidewalks, people on bicycles riding on the wrong side of the street, on sidewalks, and cars that are maneuvering between this. And I try to envision dozens, if not hundreds, of people on bicycles communicating or transporting themselves from main campus to East Campus or to the Tassel MTech. How would you regulate this so that it's manageable and so that we're not splattering students?
Well, I love your vision of hundreds of bicycles out there. That's wonderful. I think it's education. I mean, I think that in major cities where they have implementation of bike share programs, you know, Washington, D.C., Minneapolis, Seattle, I mean, there's, again, lots of models for it. They're able to get everybody sort of educated enough so that we share the road, and that's the law here. I mean, bicycles are able to share the road with motorists. Now, there certainly is an educational component to it. That is without a doubt, and I don't know. I mean, again, if you talk about cross-college collaborations, you know, is that something that the GRCC police potentially could get involved in some of the education of programs? There's lots of avid cyclists around the community that I'm sure would also be willing to donate time for education. But.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. Wow, pretty tough competition. Lots of great ideas here. Okay, I think we're ready for our next clip.
Grand Rapids Community College. It brings me great excitement and pleasure to introduce you to my innovative team. My name is Ashley Fannin.
I'm Bill Rapson.
And I'm Ben Glarum.
Our intensive green roof includes thin film solar photovoltaics, solar hot water heaters, Helix wind turbines, Swift wind turbines, and a hybrid live roof system. This intensive green roof, if chosen, allows Grand Rapids Community College students access to a visual representation of innovative technology and sustainability at its best. Loads of universities, commercial businesses, and even residential homes have already discovered the advantages of having an efficient green roof. With that being said, here's Bill Rapson to explain some of the many benefits our hybrid live roof system has to offer.
One of the aspects of our hybrid green roof system is a vegetated roof. The system is a pre-engineered, pre-grown system that shows up just like this on the site. So from day one you have a nice vegetated roof system. These white blocks are removed so that you don't see the tray at all. This is actually sedum and will change to different types of colors during the year. It won't be green all year long. And the benefits of this system include noise reduction from airborne sound into the building. It also includes a slight added insulating value in the roof, as well as lowering the roof temperature. Studies have shown that on a sunny 95-degree day, the roof surface on a vegetated roof will actually be close to ambient air temperature as opposed to about 175 degrees on an unvegetated black roof surface. That benefits not only the building by lowering air conditioning costs, but also helping to extend the roof life of the roof surface by protecting it from not only heat but also UV. The other part of this vegetated roof system is a walkway system that we're proposing to be made out of 2x2 recycled rubber pavers that keep people from actually walking on the planted area and also start to dictate the pedestrian areas for crowd control. And the recycled rubber pavers are an added ecological benefit in that they can use anywhere from 3 to 4 car tires per recycled 2x2 paver to help reduce our dependency on the landfills. Vegetative green roofs also help reduce stormwater runoff. A vegetated green roof system of this type can help reduce up to 95% of roof runoff during a 1-inch rain event if the growing medium is dry, as in the middle of the summer. Other than that, the vegetated green roof system does not require any supplemental irrigation. It's designed to simply use the ambient rain in the atmosphere.
Our team design embraces both thin film photovoltaic and solar hot water systems. Most people know that solar energy is greatly beneficial to our environment. However, this is rarely acted upon. Therefore, we hope to develop awareness and catch the attention of the GRCC academic community by allowing them to walk through a true green roof. While there is constant research and numerous steps to seeking the many advantages to solar energy and trying to comprehend how this system works, there is nothing that would be more beneficial to our academic community than to see and experience a visual representation of a solar energy system. In regards to the directly related courses at GRCC, it would be extremely valuable to have a direct hands-on approach close by on campus for both the instructors and students to display construction practices on solar panels and solar hot water heating. Additionally, although the use of solar systems will not eliminate the need for fossil fuel energy, it will bring us one step closer to preserving our precious natural resources by assisting in the lowering of mechanical costs throughout the college campus. Given the high initial cost expenditure, it is imperative for the judges to realize how you could provide one of the most serene learning experiences for corresponding classes, as well as other GRCC students, and furthermore benefiting our economic and environmental needs.
There are 2 types of turbines on our green roof design. The first is a double helix wind turbine. This vertical axis wind turbine is about 25% efficiency. And although less efficient than the horizontal Swift wind turbine we have chosen, they are cheaper to build and easier to install. Between both turbines, and according to the U.S. Department of Energy, which stated there is enough harvestable wind power to power the whole country, GRCC can help in a big way. Lastly, it is important for everyone watching to remember our mission is to help the world with environmental issues and create awareness amongst the students at Grand Rapids Community College in matters of sustainability and innovation.
So Team 4 has a student champion, Ashley Fannin. Ashley, if you'll come down and introduce your team.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ashley Fannin. This is Ben Glarum. We also had an architectural instructor that's not here. His name's Mr. Bill Rapson. Go ahead.
It's okay if you don't have any questions. We can.
Yeah, we'll do.
I know we're pretty good.
The question I had just, was there a general consensus or idea of how much it would cost to implement a project like this and where that funding would come from?
Yeah, the initial cost is about $20 per square foot as far as the vegetated roof is concerned. I don't have a breakdown for the solar panels and wind turbines and the solar hot water heating. But our intent wasn't to focus on that. I know it would be, I think, roughly about $1.5 million given the structural reinforcement and implementing all the characteristics into it. But we wanted to focus more on the advancing curriculums for sustainability on campus. We feel like that could be reinforced by you know, actually showing that we believe in putting such things into the campus as far as that's concerned. So yeah, about 1.5 million. We didn't consider funding, but you know, phasing something like this in over a couple years worth of budget is pretty applicable, I think.
So you did do an analysis of the structure of the building before you decided that you could put a vegetated roof on top of it?
I did. I looked at the structural plan, and it looks pretty hefty as is. I'm not sure how much reinforcement would be needed, though. So.
And how would you access the roof?
There's two stairwells, one over by the Fountain Street Church at that end of the building, and then one in the center in the main building. And that would be run all the way up, and you could see from the computer renderings that the penthouses would be resurfaced with brick veneer and incorporated storefront systems into them to you know, allow a nice walkway up into it.
I assume that you're talking about the main building here, looking
Yeah.
at that roof, and I believe you got the drawings, the structural drawings from us. But that was for a live roof, though. When you start putting turbines on it, that's the anchoring system to that would be a little more difficult. My only question, I guess, though, is why would you choose the main building versus someplace like the Ford Fieldhouse, where there's a lot more space that you can do, you know, quite a bit more with it?
I started with the main building because it was the oldest building at the campus, and I feel that most of the students, just like the freshmen, take their gen eds at the main building. A lot of their classes are held there, and they have to take their gen eds and stuff there. So it would be a great thing for them to look at as freshmen to enter the building and not see such an old structure, you know, and see that we implemented new sustainability ideas to this building.
Okay, thank you.
So how would a freshman know that all this is on the roof?
You walk right up. Everyone, all the students could have access to the roof. That was the whole idea.
But from ground level, I'm not able to see that there's a green roof on top of the main building.
I think that if something like this was implemented into the college, it would probably be renowned throughout Michigan. You know, it's a pretty big system, so I think a lot of people would probably be acknowledged quite greatly in the city.
I'm just wondering, energy cost reduction versus return on investment. How long do you think it would take before you actually saw any kind of energy reduction costs for the campus?
Mr. Epson and I talked about this a great deal. He said that within a couple of years, we could easily do a payback on the system We didn't know exactly because there are so many different things going on top of the roof that it would take an engineer to determine the paybacks of the system. But yeah, I don't know.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a round of applause for Team 4. Okay, we're more than halfway through the list of competitors now, and we are ready for clip 5.
Well, the main idea that we proposed for the Innovation Challenge was to put some solar panels on the ATC building. We recognize that the third floor of the ATC building has a lot of space. Potentially 50,000 square feet is what we're proposing for solar panels on top of the ATC building. Recognize that solar energy, solar panels have changed within the past few years. Solar panels used to be more of a crystalline format. Instead, nowadays they are a thin line technology, a thin film technology. So thin that even one panel of solar, this thin film technology, only weighs 2.1 pounds. Not only do you get the benefit of reduced size, reduced thinness, reduced weight, but you also gain the new technology is able to produce 10% more energy than what the previous solar panels were. Just recently, GRCC introduced a new solar panel installation class. It's held over in the MTech Center. And the benefits of having solar panels right here on campus, the benefits of having students actually install these solar panels, and to keep up on the maintenance, to keep up on some of these real-time statistics. That could be a huge benefit for the college here. Not only is it a benefit for this class, the class that has just started up, but I can imagine the ATC building combined with the green roof that was installed back in 2008 becoming, maybe a green icon in the community.
One of the benefits of owning a solar system is being rewarded through solar renewable energy credits. These are a form of renewable energy certificates or green tags. The SRECs represent the saved energy from a solar facility. They are produced each time a solar system produces 1 megawatt hour of production. And that's equal to removing the carbon dioxide output of about 300 cars a day. The additional income received from selling SRECs increases the value of the solar investment and assists with the cost of solar panels. Along with state and federal incentives, the solar system owners can recover their investments by selling these SRECs. The life expectancy of the solar panels can last up to 25 years with the 80% efficiency rating. They can also be sold after 25 years in the secondary market.
Dr. Nicholas Petrangelo was able to help us. He came actually to talk to Jerome and I, and he showed us a website, tsenergy.com. I want to take you there right now. In the last 2 years, this particular site, East Grand Rapids Community Center, has been able to achieve a savings of 55 megawatt hours. Jerome just talked about SRECs. And he talked about how SRECs, as they reach 1 megawatt per hour, are able to return, you're able to get a return on them. 57 megawatt hours is what East Grand Rapids Community Center is up to right now. They have about the same size as far as their roof, same size as far as what we're proposing here. And the equivalent of 55 megawatt hours is the same as the energy that was used at the Learning Corner on Wealthy Street. If I were to enlarge this graph, you guys would also see that during January, February, those are lower months because of the winter. However, you are still able to achieve kilowatt hours that are saved even during the winter months. Solar panels are not just working during the summer months, they work all year round. And payback is kind of difficult to understand when it comes to solar panels because you do have so many incentives that are coming back, both from the federal side and from the state side. Also SRECs, how many SRECs dollars are you getting back, as Jerome spoke about? How much are you getting back as far as energy saved per month, per year? Generally speaking, though, payback on a solar energy system, one of this size, might take about 3 to 7 years to pay back. After 3 to 7 years, you are able to use the system for free without having to worry about any costs. When I first thought of solar panels, I thought, well, where are we going to get these solar panels from? Where do we have to go to find them? Who do we have to call in order to install them? Actually, the answer is quite simple. Here locally within Michigan, within Greenville, Michigan, there's a company called Unisolar. Unisolar.com is their website. And they go all over the world to install these solar panels, both the traditional solar panels and the thin film technology. Not only is the installation company local, but we do have an advocate in office. Fred Upton from Benton Harbor is the chair of the Energy Committee, and he is committed to using solar energy, wind energy, to produce renewable energy here within Michigan. And the SRECs that Jerome talked about, the SRECs are actually purchased from a guy named Dan Kuipers down in Holland, Michigan. Dan Kuipers has been known to purchase from the East Grand Rapids Community Center. Even within the state of Michigan, to be able to keep everything local, to be able to purchase, to be able to get the SRECs from people that are here within our community can be an asset.
Okay, so the champion for Team 5 is Mark Dodd. He's faculty in our job training program. And Mark, if you'll stand somewhere here in this space so we can get a good camera shot of you and your team, and if you'll introduce your team for us.
Yes, I'm Mark Dodd. This is Jerome Draper, a student. Boy, I didn't look like I smiled very much in that video, so I think I want to do that right now. Trying to teach everything about solar panels in 5 minutes is going to be very difficult, so ask the questions that are pertinent. We'll try our best.
I guess my first question is, you claim that there's 50,000 square feet on the Applied Technology Center. That includes the vegetated live roof?
This is just the third floor only, so we're separating ourselves from the green roof that's on the second floor.
Okay.
Actually, there's about 55,000 square feet up there, but I estimated 50,000 because of a lot of the heating and cooling ducts that are up there, and I think there's some windows that are on the third floor as well.
Okay. And you also made a claim that thin panels were 10% more efficient. Are you referring to how efficient they used to be, or are you comparing them to a polycrystalline or a monocrystalline?
Yeah, you've got me on some of the technical terms there, but looking at East Grand Rapids Community Center's website, they actually have, or that TS Energy that I pulled up, they actually have the new thin film technology on the building, as well as the older style, the polycrystalline, as you mentioned. And it does produce 10% more based upon the numbers. I showed you the end result. I showed you 55 megawatt hours, 57 at the time. But up above were two more statistics that listed the thin film technology and the earlier technology, the polycrystalline that you talked about. So I don't know the exact answer, but looking at the numbers, yes, I would think 10% can be achieved.
The numbers you're referring to are from the community center, is that correct?
East Grand Rapids Community Center, yes.
And what would 50,000 square feet of solar panel do for us here at the college at the ATC?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Well, how much energy would we be able to generate?
Within a year, the graph that you saw that had 57 megawatt hours was within 2 years. So within about a year, you're looking at about 25 megawatt hours, 27 megawatt hours. If you could equate that, I mentioned on the slide that it was enough to pay for the Learning Corner on Wealthy Street. That was equivalent to a year's worth of electricity at the Learning Corner on Wealthy Street. So essentially 2 years of this system on the ATC building would be enough to pay for 1 year at the Learning Corner. Or the MTech Center. The MTech Center, you could pay for half of the electrical output at the MTech Center based upon 2 years worth of data that was collected at East Grand Rapids Community Center.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just a point of clarification, the solar renewable energy credits that were mentioned were based on 1 megawatt hour, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
The charts that were shown, however, for the East Grand Rapids Community Center showed 57 kilowatt hours generated as opposed to megawatt hours. Do you have a response to that?
I'm glad you mentioned that. We need to focus on that.
Well, it was actually 57,000 kilowatt hours. So that would make it 57 megawatt hours for those 2 years, am I correct? If I answered your question, as far as the numbers that were on the graph.
Well, let's continue on with that real quick. Dan Kuipers down in Holland is willing to pay $300 for every megawatt hour. He's done that already with the East Grand Rapids Community Center. 300 times 60, you're looking at 18,000. Am I correct in my math? Anybody in math here? $18,000, $1,800. Clearly, these megawatt hours is able to produce a return on the business side, not even from the energy that's saved, but on the business side, these SRECs can really help you to gain back as well. We mentioned Dr. Nick. He is an expert in the field. He came in and actually talked to us about this, and that's what he focused on heavily. He said people are going to come into this class at the MTech focused on these SRECs, not necessarily on how much energy can be saved. That is the major side he was thinking. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Great job. Okay, great job. So we're down to our final two teams of the night. We are ready for clip number 6.
Hi, my name is Renee Gu.
I'm Deb Bride.
And Jeff Spolman.
And we would like to tell you about how we can save you money through vending machines. The GRCC Energy Innovation Contest was created with the intent of helping the college reduce its energy bills. Keeping this in mind, I started to look more closely at what was using up the energy and to think of creative and easy ways we could help reduce those costs. That's when I started to think about how many vending machines I see around campus, and consequently, how much energy they must use. This reminded me of last Arbor Day, when Barnes & Noble, my former employer, took some energy measures of their own, which included removing the light bulbs from the vending machines in the break rooms of all their stores. They then posted a notice to the staff telling us why they did this and what it would cost or save us. They ended up saying that one light bulb from one machine ended up saving the stores $100 per year annually. When you think of 2 machines per store, this could add up quite significantly. So I looked around campus. There are over 100 vending machines scattered around campus. By just removing those light bulbs, that's over $10,000 annually in savings for this college, with no added cost. Best yet, you don't have to rely on other people to make sure that the measure actually works. Simply remove the light bulbs and watch your energy bills start to drop. Then I started to do more research on this topic, looking to find numbers that I could use to back up my research when I stumbled upon the vending miser, which is a small product that is attached to the back of a vending machine. This sensor will then help reduce the cooling time of the vending machines. With energy bills and gas prices on the rise, many families, businesses, and other institutions are looking for ways to save money. This is one measure that schools right here in our area took advantage of and recorded their savings for 3 vending machines. The Granville and Belding area schools installed the vending miser on 3 machines, tracking energy usage and savings that the miser provided. Machine 1 was in a low-traffic area in Granville Public Schools, West Elementary Building. With the lights still in use, they reported an over $180 energy savings annually, with an overall reduction of 59%. Machine 2 was in a low-traffic area, again in the Granville Public Schools. This time it was located in the Transportation Building. Lights were once again still in use. However, they reported a savings of over $250 annually and a reduction of almost 80%. Machine 3 was in a high-traffic area located outside the common area of Belding Middle School. The lights were removed from this machine, and they reported an annual savings of over $100 annually, with an energy reduction of 39%.
When we were doing research, we found that the Vending Miser website was very helpful. It provides the following facts and information. The vending miser states that it saves on power by turning off lighting and managing compressor cooling cycles when they are not needed. The patented vending miser will reduce the power consumption of a cold drink vending machine by an average of 46%, with no impact on sales of drinks. This is how it works. Utilizing a custom passive infrared sensor, the vending miser powers down a vending machine when the area surrounding it is unoccupied and automatically repowers the vending machine when the area is reoccupied. The vending miser will also reduce the maintenance cost and extend the life of the vending machine by significantly reducing the number of compressor cycles that are run.
One potential barrier for implementing this is we have contracts with our current vending suppliers. What we can do, though, is we can modify those contracts by mutual agreement, or we can wait until the contracts expire and renegotiate the terms at that time. So let's summarize the savings. GRCC has around 100 vending machines scattered around the campus. A typical savings with the vending miser is about $150 per year per machine. If we install the vending miser on half of those machines, typically in the low to medium traffic areas, this will cost us about $9,000 up front. Then we remove the light bulbs from the other half of the machines, and that would have zero costs associated with that move. GRCC can then expect to save approximately $12,000 in energy costs, netting about $3,000 in the first year.
Okay, so our team number 6 has a student champion. Her name is Renee Fortnum. Renee, come on down and introduce your team.
Hi, my name is Renee Fortnam/Gu. This is Deb Bride, and she is our staff member. Jeff Spoolman is our faculty member. He could not be here tonight because he's teaching at the Grand Valley campus and getting ready for exams. One thing we did want to pass out is we have some facts and information for each of the judges. We have a vending miser installed down in Winchester Alley, and we were working on doing a study with that, working with facilities office. However, when we finished the first week of our study, the watt meter that we had plugged into the machine got unplugged, and we lost all our data. And so we took some information from other schools and areas and are presenting that to you. Okay, go ahead.
I have a question. The vending miser seems to be more efficient in payback in low traffic areas because it's not switching on and off so often. So all of the machines that we have on campus, have you classified them as low traffic or high traffic area machines?
Look, I didn't do, don't have the actual numbers, but about 50%, the ones in Winchester Alley, the ones up on the 4th floor, the right outside Art and Bev's Cafe, areas like that, those are the ones that are going to be the high traffic. The ones like the 5th floor in the English area, you know, those have students coming to them, not as much as people constantly coming by because it's not a main aisleway. Also here in the science lab, every single floor, there's a little study area in the back corner that has 2 vending machines each on every floor. Those are the ones that I do suggest putting in the vending miser. However, we also do have to take out the numbers that are the snack machines. Those ones don't have a compressor running. If you just remove the light bulbs from those ones, which are counting in the 50% of the machines, those are the ones that you know, you're going to save $100 per year from those.
I've seen data that people don't come to vending machines that don't have lights on them. Have you heard that?
Yes. And one thing that they say to do that is they have, you can put up a sign. We're fairly populated area, it's not, out in the open. If we do a student notice across Blackboard in the student emails saying, we're taking this measure, all machines are working, this is just a measure for energy savings, and post a sign in front of big blocks of vending machines, such as Winchester and 4th floor Main. And I think that word will get around fairly quickly, and it won't be a problem after maybe might see a fall of the first month or two.
I just want to add also that any kind of innovation change is going to require some kind of change in culture. So if we get people used to seeing that these lights aren't going to be on, but they know the machine is still running because it's got the sticker that you saw in the PowerPoint, then it will create a culture change that I think is going to be part of this.
I take it that you did look into products that were spoilable and so forth with the vending miser. Is that not correct?
Correct. There's very few machines that are like that. The regular snack machines wouldn't be an issue. There's a couple machines that are like the ice cream machines, which just remove the lights from those ones, treat them as a snack machine, because the vending miser states right there not to use them because they are perishable goods, if they need to stay cool.
Okay, thank you.
You mentioned one of your challenges is working with some of the vendors that might be opposed to the vending miser. Have you already approached some of those vendors? Is it feasible?
Well, I know that we do have our risk management team. Jim Peterson has been looking into this problem and possibly contacting Coke, as we're not the first area that's tried to do this, or first institution. I believe they've probably heard of this type of thing before. Yes, it is a challenge for us that we would have to look at, will Coke and Pepsi allow us to do this type of change with the contract? Because I know it does say now that you have to have it lit up. So I'm hoping that doesn't stand in the way of our idea, but we have made our general counsel office aware of it.
And added to that, the vending miser website does say that the actual Coke and Pepsi foundations, their companies, do back the vending miser. And they say that the vending miser does not cause any real influx in temperature or anything. And once a culture gets used to not seeing the lights on anymore, there's very little impact.
I have one last dumb question. If the light is out on the machine, how do I know what's in it?
It's just taking the light off the main area. The buttons will still be lit up. So just your main block, that giant Coke bottle that's lit up on the front of the panel, that's the only part that will be unlit. But all the money, the dollar area, the GRCC Raider card slide, and the buttons will still be lit up.
And we'll keep the lights on in the building, too.
All right, good job. Okay, we are at our final team tonight. Let's roll clip number 7, please.
In an inconvenient truth, Al Gore stated, "We already know everything we need to know to effectively address this problem. We've got to do a lot of things, not just one. Increasing end-use efficiency, we can remove global warming pollution that would otherwise be put into the atmosphere." Our idea is a mobile app that uses technology and existing data to give people information that they can use in their daily lives to make better decisions that will help improve energy conservation. The GRCC Green Seeds app makes better use of the vast gigabytes of data sitting in the college's databases with the instant availability of mobile phones. It also uses the power of social networking to make conservation fun and easy, to unite people and collect the wisdom of the crowd to continue the innovation process. Some of the specific integration opportunities include Green Ride, parking awareness, faculty absences, the campus calendar, and the ability to print documents to one's mobile phone. So example 1, sustainability idea collection. We've all had those flashes of brilliance that we forget to write down. This may happen as we're in traffic, in line at the grocery store, or as we're sitting in meetings. The GRCC mobile app would give the college the ability to harness the wisdom of the crowd by letting anyone and everyone submit ideas about how to conserve resources. We could collect the seeds of a green revolution. Not only can we crowdsource innovation, we can also turn to the masses to vet those ideas by letting other people review, comment, or build on those submissions. What if we use mobile phones to ensure those green seeds don't go to waste? Example 2, parking. GRCC serves 30,000 students annually. Of that, approximately 22,200 students use GRCC's parking ramps. When surveyed, 53% spend between 0 and 15 minutes idling in traffic waiting for parking, and another 20% spends more than 15 minutes. Idling for 5 minutes burns 0.5 cups of gasoline, which translates into a savings of 10 gallons and a reduction in CO2 emissions of 220 pounds per year, per car. At this rate, even a small reduction in the wait time for parking or an increase in carpooling can have the substantial impacts on energy consumption. What if we could provide students with real-time parking updates so that they don't clog up the streets around the college's downtown campus waiting for spots? On any given day, several GRCC faculty members are absent from class. Currently, that data is gathered by a cumbersome process that means the absences usually aren't posted until after students have arrived on campus for their classes. What if we could speed up the processing of faculty absences so that students are notified before they leave home, thereby saving them a trip? Approximately 9 million pages, or 45 tons, of post-consumer copy paper are printed on campus every year. Each ton that can be reduced that would save 7.2 trees, 2,100 gallons of water, 1,230 kilowatt hours of electricity, and 18 pounds of air pollution. What if we could give students the opportunity to take important documents with them to class without printing them out by having them send those documents to their mobile phones? Mobile apps like Foursquare and Scavenger have attracted millions of smartphone owners and local businesses to participate in social networking platforms built on local communities and online gaming. For checking in at locations and adding tips, users earn points and status by turning things they do every day into a big game everyone can play. What if we could get more people to be environmentally responsible by assigning them points for good behavior and letting them compete against their friends, colleagues, and neighbors? For several years, GRCC has partnered with GreenRide, a service that allows students to use social networking to find resources for carpooling. It allows students and employees to upload their schedules and personal preferences to look for people near them they could carpool to school with. As the college has grown, GRCC employees travel from campus to campus on a daily basis for meetings or projects, all of which are stored on their group-wise work calendars. What if we could get more students and employees to carpool to work or to meetings, thereby cutting in half the amount of emissions and energy used?
Here's a great app. I can see ideas that students and employees at GRCC submitted. There's a green ride where I can share rides with others. I can print to PDF and then see that on my phone. I can sign up for faculty absences so that I get texted when my class is canceled. I can see when parking ramps are closed. So people are voting for the best idea. It's like crowdsourcing, and the best ideas are visible at the top.
Technology now enables us to collect, share, and use the accumulated weight of the little things. As Benjamin Franklin said, human felicity is produced not as much by great pieces of good fortune that seldom happen as by little advantages that occur every day.
Okay, so Team 7 was led by a staff champion, Derek DeVries. Derek, come on down and bring your team.
I think one of the first suggestions I'm going to make to the system is that we have crowdsourced real-time voting on the temperatures of rooms so that we can conserve that way. So we welcome your questions.
I'll start. Would this mobile app be a GRCC-owned mobile app? And if so, who would maintain it and how would that be maintained, upgraded? How would that cost be covered?
Excellent questions. Indeed, it would be a GRCC app. In fact, it's something that Simon Mahayevsky, actually I should introduce my team members. This is Eric Cunnan here, and Gary Brand, and our other team members were Simon Mahayevsky, as I mentioned, and Isaac Davila Carrion. And fortunately, this is something Simon's already built, so it already exists, and it just needs our time to devote to adding to it and building on that platform. And then depending on how big and how far we want to go with the content and the features that we add to it, There may be some cost in terms of partnering with other things, but it's something the IT department can maintain. It's relatively simple. And the great thing is Simon designed it open source, so not only will it be available across platforms, no matter what type of phone you're using, whether it's iPhone, Droid, or BlackBerry, but it's something that we could give to other institutions to use as well, because it's and then eventually that could be something that everyone contributes to in terms of adding new features and feature sets to a collective pool, kind of that sort of thing. So,
one more quick question. Sure. Can you explain more in depth how it will directly reduce GRCC's energy costs?
Absolutely. Some of the energy costs, specifically, as mentioned in the video, we have a large cost associated with printing on campus. So some of the statistics that we grabbed, I could quote them right now. I actually grabbed my script and sent it to my mobile phone. But the college spends a ton of money on not only the paper, but also the energy used and the ink and all the maintenance and upkeep of printers for the stuff that we print every day. And so if we could encourage more people to print things to their phones, we can directly reduce it there. In terms of mileage and reimbursement, if we can get more people to carpool by syncing schedules and that sort of thing, there's also a savings there as well in terms of how much the college directly pays out. And then there's these sort of ancillary benefits on the side of reduced traffic around campus, less absenteeism or reduced tardiness. I know a lot of faculty members, you're familiar with the good old parking excuse for a late student. Hopefully this could help reduce that. If students know which ramps are closed already, they don't have to wait in line for those and move on to other ones that are. And hopefully it's something that we could also then collect and aggregate this data so that we could then plan in a larger sense, whether it's the scheduling of classes or when they let out and that sort of thing, look for patterns and that kind of thing and begin to apply algorithms to that. So,
how do you intend to use the savings to benefit student success?
Basically, anything that we don't spend, we can keep in the general fund, and I'm sure that Jim Peterson's not here, but I'm sure he can find no shortage of projects for that to go to. There's a lot of other projects directly related to mobile technology that we're also working on, the Starfish system and some of the other systems that we have for tracking student success and intervening earlier and in real time when they're experiencing difficulty in their classes. Freeing up more resources to go towards those would be a great way to return that value.
If we have thousands of students having these aha moments where they enter a green energy saving idea, who's collecting that and analyzing it and then acting upon it?
Excellent question. There's a lot of platforms available. The one we looked at specifically was one called Idea Scale, and the way that it works is it collects all those ideas, and then the people that log in and look at it then can vote on those ideas. So right away you have an automatic level of filtering in terms of the sort of people around looking at something as a good idea, and then we could, as staff, take a few moments to look at the top, few ideas every so often, and then look at the feasibility of implementing those. And the great thing is a system like that saves all that data so that when we explore something and find out it may not be feasible at this time, we can record that and save it and let people know that we did indeed consider their idea and maybe it's be viable at a later date, but also allow us to then, in terms of succession at the college, if somebody's looking for an idea, did we try that before? We'd actually have a record of that, of having tried that or looked into it, and that research wouldn't be lost.
Okay. Great job, Team 7. Okay, wow, huh? So that concludes the presentations of the 7 teams and 7 ideas. As you can see, great champions that represent faculty, students, and staff, teams that represent really remarkable collaborations. You think about the ideas that are just presented in this room on this one topic, and I think it hopefully inspires you and makes you feel good about the potential to solve all of our problems sitting in this room if we just work together on these. So what's going to happen now is that our judges are going to take 15 minutes or so to go deliberate. There are refreshments out in the hall. If you step on out, grab some refreshments, mingle a little bit, contestants, shake down your nerves for the big announcement, and then we'll be back in about 15 minutes to award our prizes. Thank you. Okay, the moment has arrived. The suspense will be ended here in just a moment. We're going to welcome up President Ender to give a few of his reflections and comments, and he and Armin Omedian, our benefactor for this event, will do the presentation of awards. Dr. Ender.
Thank you, Liz, and welcome, everyone. Let me start by first sincere thanks to Armin Omedian for really allowing this idea to become a, what is it? You can have an idea, but you really don't have an innovation until you introduce it to the market. And that is what you've done here at GRCC. And so we are very grateful for you and for your support of this institution. And I want to say ongoing and continuous support. Armin has been a supporter for some time. So now to have the Armin Award as part of our history and our future will be very, very nice. I'd like to thank all the faculty and staff and students that came together and formed these teams and begin to think about what we can do to be an institution that's committed to sustainability, but then showing our commitment through our actions and deeds. And that's what these projects represent. And I would hope that there's always a first to everything. And as someone who's started a lot of programs for the first time, I think that how that program begins has a lot to do with how it will sustain itself. And I feel like through the pilgrims that you have been, as you've helped to launch this Innovation Award, leaves then a strong foundation for others to emulate as we do this next year and the year after that and the year after that. So I want to thank you for being the trailblazers, if you will, around Armin's Award. And Armin, I'd like you to perhaps say a couple of things about the meaning of this from your perspective, and then we'll get on to our third, second, and grand prize winners tonight.
Okay, thank you. As I look at you, I think, wow, what a terrific thing that you have accomplished. From the committee that got together every 2 or 3 weeks to get this rolling, to you judges, to you participants, to your students and staff and faculty, what an adventure this has been. I can't spend money ever any better than this. And the only thing that's missing is my bald head up there. I really, really enjoy watching young people develop and come forward, and I was astounded, impressed with the stature, with the professionalism that you folks are presenting these awards, these work efforts of yours. Thank you so much for making the effort. West Michigan is lucky having you folks as part of it, developing here at GRCC. We've got things going for us, and we're going to keep them going. So thank you very much. And thanks again. We're going to do this for at least 2 more years, and we'll do it more than that if we can keep it going. Thank you.
Thank you, Armin. Okay, the big moment. And let me also say to our esteemed judges that we appreciate your fine work, and I thought your questions were excellent. And this wasn't a charade that was going on in here tonight. You made it very, very real, I think, for our contestants. Actually, I thought some of your questions were quite pointed, and I congratulate you for that. Okay, we have 3 prize winners tonight. So announcing third prize, winning $750 are the team of Mark Dodd, Jerome, and team solar panels on the ATC. Where are you, folks? Would you like to present this massive check to these young men?
Isn't it pretty? Let them try to catch it.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you. And I actually think that we will award real checks, is that correct, at the staff gathering during finals day? Okay. If you want to stay right here with me, guys. Second place, winners of $1,500, Renee Fortnam, Deb Bride, and Jeff Spillman, vending, miser, and light removal. And finally, our grand prize winners, $3,000, Sarah Yob and team, the Ride Share program. Congratulations. Come on. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We better share it.
Well, I think you should rent a truck and go figure out how you're bringing those bikes down from Mackinac Island, tell you the truth. That's what you need to do. So what do you think? We had some wonderful programs presented tonight, some great competition. Again, I'd like to thank everyone. You did great work, and let's hope that we implement some of these ideas. They're all worthy of implementation, and we need to figure out how to do that. So again, thank you very much.